BF, 22N, had sex act with me, 21F, while I was on pain meds and recovering from surgery. Friends say I was raped, I say he just pushed boundaries and want to put the whole thing behind me. For some background, I was supposed to have my wisdom teeth removed in May. Original doctor would not do it because of COVID, got a second opinion and that lady said I could wait a year or possibly not have them removed at all. Middle of last month one got impacted and it was the most agonizing pain I've ever felt in my life, and emergency notice had all four removed. While I was recovering, my boyfriend was over and I was completely out of it on pain pills. He's always wanted to have anal sex. I'm not opposed to it but want to work up to it. He asked me if I thought I might be able to try since I was in the pain pills, and I thought he was joking, so I said sure, but then said no way. The timeline is a little hazy but it seemed like in seconds he was on top of me with his dick in my butt, and I screamed no so loud my mom heard it from the other side of the house. It hurt so freaking bad, but he finished in maybe 5 seconds, so it didn't last long. He thought I was upset because it didn't last long enough for me to enjoy it, and I was upset because he took advantage of me. But we have talked about it many times since, and I feel like it was at worst him pushing some boundaries. At best it was a miscommunication because of the pain meds. I have a group of 3 friends who are literally like my sisters. There isn't anything I would do for them and then for me. However, they are all convinced he raped me, and now they refuse to be around them because they fear for their own safety. I love them to death, but I think they are being a little dramatic. My boyfriend is worried that they are going to say something and ruin his life, and he wants me to stop hanging out with them. This isn't possible since we've been friends for 13 years, but I agree with him that I don't think his life needs to be ruined over this. I just want things to go back to the way they were before this went down and everyone is just cool with each other. How do we do that? Edit: on Saturday afternoon, nearly everyone said what I didn't want to admit to myself, that I was raped. I'm having a very hard time using that word that described what happened to me, because while I knew my BF was not perfect, I really did, maybe do, love him. I had not spoken with him since I posted this, and he blew up my phone all day and night wondering where I was. I called him back this morning and told him that we really need to talk this Saturday afternoon. He started freaking out at first, asking me if what happened last week was what this talk was going to be about. I said yes. He then started screaming at me that how could you let your cunt friends talk you into something that just didn't happen. I told him they hadn't said anything about it. He then threatened me and them, basically saying that if anything happens to his career we will all regret it. I then asked him if that meant he was actually breaking up with me, and he told me that no, he loved me too much to ever break up with me. I asked him how could he threaten me and my friends like that and still say with the same mouth that he loved me. He was speechless for a minute and asked me what I was going to do. I said I didn't know. He then said something like make the right choice and hung up. Obviously we are broken up and I wish I could say I feel good about it, but I don't. I'm very lost and confused. What? When I had my wisdom teeth out, my boyfriend, now husband, drove me to the pharmacy and cleaned up my bloody drool and listened to me complain about not being able to poop. He fed me ice cream and tucked me in. Your boyfriend is a huge creep. Who TF anally rapes someone recovering from surgery while their mom is home? Exclamation mark. Right? The fact that the guy's first thought wasn't oh my poor girlfriend just had surgery and her face is swollen and she's on strong pain meds because otherwise she'd be in agony. It was hey maybe I can get my penis in her bum. Doesn't paint him in a positive light in the first place. What he did was reprehensible. My boyfriend is worried that they are going to say something and ruin his life, and he wants me to stop hanging out with them. On top of what he did, he wants to isolate you from your friends and support network. Triangular flag on post. 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 He took advantage of you when you were out of it on pain meds. What's he going to do if you get drunk? Has he apologized? Is he remorseful? You didn't mention it, so I guess not. Does he understand how much he hurt you? Did he stop immediately? It doesn't sound like it. I understand that you might not want to call this rape, But that's what this looks like. It's not a stranger in the bushes, it's a boyfriend who takes advantage when you can't consent. It's the guy not stopping when you're screaming. Can you ever trust him again? Your friends aren't being dramatic and you're making excuses for something horribly traumatic. He raped you. The fact that your boyfriend is so worried about your friends saying something just shows that he knows exactly what he did. He's gaslighting and manipulating you to think that this was all a misunderstanding. You were under the influence of drugs. Your boyfriend was aware of that, asked for sex anyways, and then he assaulted you. You can never fully consent while under the influence and he took advantage of that. I hope your friends can get through to you, and I hope that you're able to work through this and get this rapist away from you. Sex without consent is rape. Yup, and even though she said yeah whatever, she was drugged, so it doesn't count. You're screaming in pain and he finishes in 5 seconds. What would be a boner killer for any normal person actually helped him speed things up. And now he wants you to cut contact with the people who are trying to protect you from him. Run. I feel like an asshole because I hate the person my friend is transitioning into. I, 29NB, have a friend, 23, who is transitioning to female. I met her prior to her transition when she was my boyfriend's roommate. They had a lot in common at the time and it was easy and fun to hang out with her because all we did was watch dumb videos and shit on YouTube and talk about conspiracy theories and such. She was hardworking and ambitious. Like she was a freelance programmer who saved enough money up as a high schooler to move across the country, find a place to live and find a job with zero help. When I met her she had a girlfriend who was kind of just a standard sorority girl but nice enough. AMD they were both there when my and my boyfriend's daughter was born. We have a long history with her pre-transition. Last January she broke up with her girlfriend and then began to transition. I am supportive of her being true to herself and living however makes her happy, but I hate being around her now. If we watch an anime with like a hot chick, that's me. If we play a video game with a hot character, look, it's me. Every time. She is constantly comparing her looks against other women, cis or otherwise, and if she thinks she is cuter than whoever she is comparing herself to, she will just talk trash about how they need to try harder. I am literally afraid to do my own makeup around her because she'll ask what I am doing and then tell me how I am doing it wrong. I am literally a licensed hair, skin, and nails professional. I went to school to do makeup and hair. She lost her job a while back and has just been existing on my couch. She doesn't clean up after herself, she doesn't help with the baby. If anything, she acts as though my child 18 months is somehow making her life harder. I feel bad for not liking her anymore. Like I knew she was gonna change a bit, but like she changed into the type of girl that I would have avoided if I were out in the world looking to make friends. I feel like I am an asshole, but she is literally so toxic now. TL, doctor. My friend transitioned into a mean girl and I am not sure if I am being an asshole in thinking that about her. This sounds like pretty typical baby trans stuff and I feel for you because Lord knows I was annoying as hell when I first came out. My advice as a fellow trans person is try and ignore the "that's me" type stuff and focus on roommate boundaries and not talking down other people, especially other trans women. That's not gonna make her any friends. It's possible she's just a mean girl, but it's also possible that she's scared and dysphoric and propping herself up with this attitude because this is hard. Regardless, as she settles she'll probably mellow out. Also, next time she tries to come at you specifically over your appearance, tell her she's being hurtful to her face and see how she reacts. And focus on roommate boundaries. Maybe I'm just being cold and callous here, but they aren't really roommates, right? To me at least, roommates means there is at least some kind of split in terms money/contribution. That doesn't seem to be the case here. The friend is literally just a guest, 100% mooching off of op, while being toxic to her. I'm not saying anything you said was wrong per se, just that it feels a bit too soft to me. This needs to be nipped in the bud with more direct action. Again, maybe I'm just being heartless, but I feel as a guest, there should be a pretty short leash IRT negativity tolerance. Edit, want to emphasize that I'd agree fully with your advice if she was a friend living separately or an actual roommate. Since she is a couch surfer, more bluntness is required. Imho. I think kindly but firmly telling her to knock it off is the best route. My girlfriend is trans and occasionally gets sad when she feels inadequate or jealous of me, sis. I lovingly remind her that we are not in competition. We need to support other women. All women are both today I fucked up, intelligent and capable. Her femininity isn't diminished by someone else's. Her value isn't solely rooted in her hotness. This is something a lot of young cis women struggle with too, but will come to terms with eventually. Unfortunately, this is likely a combination of her second puberty, my god those hormones are intense, a whole lot of internal misogyny and her growing understanding of womanhood. Firm kindness would be my approach, and if eventually she didn't change you might need to request some space. For everyone telling Op to wait it out. Fuck that. Would you wait it out if it was a cis woman who suddenly turned nasty and got an attitude? No. You would nip it in the bud or dump the friend. Op, sit her down and tell her exactly what she's doing and how it's affecting you and that she either has to knock it off or you're no longer going to be her friend. She doesn't get a pass to be an ass just because she's transitioning and she doesn't get special treatment because of it either. She's being a dick, end of. Honestly feel that a ton of people just flat out missed that part that says this person is couch surfing under Op's roof. It's the only thing that makes sense to me. The more important issue here is that she's freeloading and not contributing in any way. You've got a child to take care of, you don't need this added stress on your plate. Just because someone is transitioning it doesn't mean they can't be an asshole, or that you have to put up with such behavior. They're still a person, good or bad, and should be called out on the asshole things they say or do. You shouldn't just remain quiet because of their sexual identity. How does that even make sense? Why is this person living on your couch anyway? Is there nowhere else she can stay? Your home is likely chaotic enough with a baby. Maybe she should find somewhere else to live and then you won't have to put up with this. It's your place, not hers. I have no idea. She called and asked and I had space. She said she was job hunting and that she would help around the house and watch the baby whenever I needed. She has a boyfriend who she stayed with a few days at first and then she asked to move in here because her boyfriend's landlord was like scheduled to do a walkthrough or something and she's like afraid to ask him if they can get a place together. I want to help her but I am also tired of her attitude and that she isn't doing the things she said she would. My best friend is dating a homophobic, racist and generally bigoted man and I, as a gay puck, don't know how to deal with it. I've known this girl for 4 years now, and I know that she's a great person. She's very accepting of everyone, always has been. She was amazing when I came out to her, and she's shown nothing but support. Basically, she never showed any signs of being a bigot. A month ago, she started dating this guy. I've talked to him and he seemed like an alright guy. But then I came across his social media, where he's blatantly said homophobic, racist and transphobic slurs. He's very vocal about his misogyny and hate against woke culture. In fact, he's actually literally messaged a girl with threats and insults because she was gay. She posted about it on her own social media. My friend doesn't do anything about it. The guy's so disgusting and just thinking about all the shit he's said makes me throw up. It's especially worse because I'm black and gay. And my friend knows that I'm sensitive about this stuff. I didn't have the heart to talk to her so I just blocked my friend and her boyfriend. It's her birthday tomorrow and all my friends are urging me to talk to her, but I really don't want to. I feel like I'm overreacting, but I'm really not comfortable with her being okay with dating someone like that. What should I do? Edit, since a lot of people are disbelieving of / unsure of how bigoted her boyfriend is, here's a few examples of actions that he's done. Is white, but has nigger in his username, uses fgut, dyke, artard, nigger, tiani in everyday convos, talks in detailed length about police brutality cases and how the victims deserved it, has harassed a lesbian with slurs, calling her sexuality unnatural. Also threatened her with violence about cutting her up because she is a plus-sized individual. This was before my friend and him began dating. Has referred to being trans as a mental illness, shamed a person for being too woke when someone called him out for his slur use and using gay as an insult. And these are only the things that I can think of from the top of my head. Edit number 2, like many people in the comments advised me to do, I talked to her. At first, she was really dismissive about the topic, didn't want to address it, but eventually I explained to her how and why I felt uncomfortable with the situation. She told me that she understands my feelings but told me that I shouldn't be so serious about the matter, and should understand that he's just joking around. I tried to expand more, but she left the convo before I could. And I'm not sure if my talk with her made me feel better or worse lol. Edit number 3, I hate making this post so long haha. But I cannot even express in words how helpful all these comments have been. All of you are so kind and I know I couldn't reply to all, but just know that I've read your comment and it's made me feel at ease with where I stand with my friendship. Thank you.